KTT Talks by Paula and Ricardo ALC. Let's talk about Kizomba.
Welcome everybody. My name is Ricardo.
My name is Paula.
And we are here for the KTT Talks podcast, a podcast that happens every Monday and Wednesday, most of them with beautiful people that are our guests, students from the KTT. KTT, it's a program that we created in 2013, Kizomba Teachers Training, where we share a step-by-step a structure to teach our level 1 of Kizomba teaching that are 16 lessons ready to use from scratch, but much more than that, not only the lesson preparation. And we decided to talk a little bit more deep with our dear students at this moment, more than 500 people from all over the world. And then somehow this online generation allow us to get closer to them. And sometimes we don't have guests, we are just ourselves talking about specific subjects, or other colleagues from our community, like we had Felicia, also Albir, Sanjay from India, people that are in our scene for a long time also. They didn't attend our KTT, but in somehow we have a lot of things in connection. And today we're going to travel to Poland, Warsaw. Warsaw is the place you are?
Oh, right now in Poznan.
Poznan, okay. Beautiful city of Poznan. We'll be there also. We love Poznan. In fact, we love Poland. And today we have the beautiful Dorota. How are you, my dear?
I'm good. Thank you so much. Much better than recently.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here. I know that it's difficult times for you. We'll not talk about that. We just want to talk about positive things. The life is a cycle that we need to move on, and the things happen for a reason and allow us to grow, to become stronger. And we like to believe exactly.
So nice.
We like to believe that there are different plans in our existence, and when something finishes, it's the open door to open some different parts in our journey. And for sure you have now one more angel taking care about you. So in this talk, we talk first about the roots. So let us know a little bit, who is Dorota, where did you born, what are your backgrounds before the dance? Okay, so what were your expectations for life, what you wanted to study, what did you study, in fact? Talk us a little bit about you.
Okay, so my name is Dorota. I come from Poland, from a really small city named Wyżysk. But actually, I spent more than 10 years living and working, studying in Poznan here. So I studied economics. My first idea was maybe try something about sport, dietitian, but I ended up on economics. That was like so general, everything about like nothing, to be honest, in the end. And yeah, I was working in a bank after my studies. That everybody knows that I hated that job. And that was so difficult to figure out. But I had to take a step to do that because I'm passionate about marketing, especially marketing in social media. So this is what I'm doing right now, and the job that I have besides the dance that I would like to develop.
Beautiful. And so you went to school, you went to university, and in which part of your life the dance appeared first?
Okay, so long story short, what we like the most. So basically, I started in secondary school. It was like 2007, I guess. I started with ballroom dance. As a younger, I was watching all the TV programs like Dancing with the Stars, You Can Dance, and I was like wondering, okay, I wish to dance. But as I from a small city, there was like no opportunities, no dance classes, no dance school. And my English teacher was a daughter of my mother's friend, told me that her boyfriend is working in something like a house of culture. And that in the city nearby, there's a dance school that I could attend. But that was like 30 minutes by car. And I had to ask my dad if he could drive me. So I can say that basically I started to dance thanks to my dad, because he was taking that responsibility to drive me twice a week for the dance classes of ballroom dance. He was waiting for me 1 hour, 2 hours sometimes. And yeah, this is how it started. But yeah, then I was training for 1 year, but suddenly my dance instructor, she had an accident in which she died.
Oh my God.
Yeah, yes, yeah, they were going for the next competition, and yeah, it happened. So basically, after 1 year, I had to stop because there was no one else to teach, like no one who could replace her. And after 1 year, there's one guy, Radosław Gołata, coming from Bydgoszcz to the city to teach dancing. And I applied for the high school, so my father didn't have to drive me any longer. So after the high school, I was going for the classes, I was going back home by bus. And I was like dancing there also 1 year, because after that I had my final year of high school that I had to study and focus on that to get to the university. And also then like first year of the university was too hard, so I had a break of 2 years again. And I was thinking, okay, I wish to come back to the ballroom dance. And before we always had problems with guys. So we were training ladies styling in Latin dances, in standard dances, like imagine waltz, English waltz dancing alone. Terrible. But yeah, that's how it looked like. And then when I got to Poznan, I went for the ballroom dance first, just to see how that's gonna be. And the instructor asked me if I would like to join for the professional group, because I already know a little bit more. And I found there a dance partner from Krakow. We started to train for some of the competitions, but then suddenly he had family problems and he had to come back to Krakow, so I stayed alone again. And that was the point and the time that I said to myself, okay, like, that's enough. I don't want to train alone. I have to find something else. And I applied at university to join for Erasmus program. And I wanted to go to Spain, but there was no contract between the universities. And suddenly the opportunity came to go to Portugal, Norway, or to Turkey. Norway was too expensive. Turkey, I'm blonde, I'm not going alone. And I started to think about Portugal, but there was a problem that they wanted me to speak basic Portuguese, and I was learning Spanish at that time. But I asked my supervisor, I was like, look, I really want to go, and I'm taking the responsibility. Okay, you can go, but the responsibility is on you. So I decided to go, and I was in Portugal like 2014, 15 for 1 year studying. I continued there with ballroom dance a little bit, but I started with Cuban salsa because that was exotic country. I wanted to try something else. And Kizomba appeared suddenly at one of the parties.
Just let me place here a chronologic placement. So you went to Erasmus in Portugal. In which city?
Yes. In Évora.
Évora, okay, Alentejo. And this was what year?
2014 until 2015.
Okay. Yes. And you start learning Cuban salsa in Évora.
Yes, exactly.
Good. Keep
and
going.
then also Kizomba, because I saw Kizomba first time at the party. It was club named Praxis, I guess, and I fall in love with the music, but I was so shocked that people are so close to each other. And I was like, okay, this is definitely not for me. But I had friends who explained me that no worries, there is no connection, just go for the classes. So as I was already in a dance today there, Reina de Fantasia, I was training their ballroom dance and Cuban salsa, and also in one other place called Zora. That was like a small bar that they were teaching. And so I joined for Kizomba, but we had classes separately, like just a piece of choreography, not couples.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to go also to another classes to learn in couples, how to dance in couples, because I was going for the parties. I knew the basic steps, but still I didn't know how to connect with the partner. So that's why I was like, okay, I would like to try another teacher. And I was doing too. And this is how actually it started. I fell in love, and I met Portuguese, Portuguese people that introduced to me the professor from Costa Rica that was teaching at my university. And they were saying, look, there's so many parties in Lisbon, and this guy is going. So if you want to go and dance a little bit more, go with this guy. But for me, I'm Polish, okay? And in Polish, we are not that close. And I was like thinking, okay, me, like student, going with the professor to the party, a little bit creepy. So at the beginning, I was confused and I didn't want to go. And I said, okay, if there will be anyone else who would like to go with us, I'm going. So we managed to like find two other people. So we were like four, sorry. But in the end, they couldn't go, and I went alone with the professor. That is an amazing person. We are in touch until today. We spent like so many nights going to Lisbon to party, coming back. He was going straight to teach. I was going straight for the classes. It's really crazy. And also then we had a small club in Evora called Noc Ilia Bar. That was a bar run by a Capo Verdean guy. So once they opened, we were like four like couples on the dance floor until it's grow to have a full dance floor. So I was able to develop a little bit, and I was happy because the dance gave me the opportunity to be closer to the Portuguese people. Because I wasn't only with Erasmus, yes, I could learn a little bit more about culture. And this is something that was like kind of a way that I could do that. So basically after that, I saw a video of Felician and Isabel.
Felicia, I think he's here. So Felicia, if you are still here, say something. Dorota will talk about you.
If he's here, I have to say something. Because yeah, Isabel and Felician, they were the first couple that I saw on YouTube dancing to the song Sofam Mil Passage. And I fall in love like directly, and I was like, these guys are incredible. And like 2 days after, I just realized that they're coming to Portugal for a festival, to KTT Festival. That was happening in July 2015.
Where? And which one?
2015.
But what event?
KTT Festival. Yes. So I was thinking, okay, that was the time that I was supposed to go back, but I said to myself, I'm gonna go back to Poland after that festival, which was my first one. And I went for the classes. I was like so amazed, and there was a party in Lisbon that I wanted to ask Felician to dance, but like I was beginner, so I was really like stressed, and I was okay, another song, next song. And I was waiting until the party was finished. and I was wondering, okay, for sure there will be another festival that I could ask him. And I guess that it happened like 2 years ago in Poland, suddenly. I went for the workshop that he was mentioning about how many dances we should dance at the parties. And at the lesson, Isabel and Felician, they said that one song is a minimum, 3 songs is a max. And I saw him at the party leaving. And I said to myself, okay, you didn't ask him last time, so or now or never. And I asked, and I was afraid that he will resign because he was already leaving the party. But his happened, he was like, okay, let's dance. And I was pretty sure that he would dance only one song and he will leave. But then first song finished. Second, I was like, okay, after second, he will go. Here's 1, 3 songs, and of course, like we said, 3 songs maximum, then he left. I was like so shocked. So that was worth waiting. So after that festival in KTT, I came back to Poland, to Poznań. To finish my studies. I discovered Paweł and Agnieszka. I started to learn with them. That's how actually I knew you, from Agnieszka. And I started to go for more festivals in Poland, Portugal, Spain, other countries to develop myself, to take more workshops. Until I got also to Portugal last year to train a little bit more in Portugal, and this is basically how it went.
It was like you were like strong with the dance. Like something happened when you start learning dance, and something happened, and you need to give up. But then again, you keep going, and then again, something happened. Dance is something that you love a lot. Yes.
Yes.
And why you think now I know you need to do something different because the dance in our days is not cool, but you think you I think yes, but if you have the chance and if the things were not like they are, do you think that the dance will be your A side instead of B side?
To be honest, I had this idea before COVID, and I was thinking if I will push myself more, maybe that will be possible. But right now, everything changed, and I know that having another job, this is necessary. But I'm working in marketing, in social media, so this is the work that I can do remotely, and this is like my goal. Yes, to work from any place that I would like to. But it also takes time. But yeah.
Let me just share something with everybody, because today I was usually when I'm shower or something, I put some music or something, some podcasts for me to listen. But today I just saw that Shakira launched a new song, and I wanted I went to YouTube to see, and it's quite nice. I like it, the song. But then as the YouTube go, then finish that video, and again, and come the next, and the next was the show of that they did, Shakira and Jennifer Lopez, the opening,
the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the opening of the Super Bowl. Instead of showering, I was seeing that thing, and you know that I was with goosebumps, and I was dancing. I was alone, and I was dancing, and even I was shouting, singing, and I was like, my gosh, how the dance, how the music make us feel so good, and make me being stronger in my will of going through all these difficulties. And the dance and the music will not finish for sure, because it's so important, and we miss this so much, and make people feel so good. And we need this to survive. And this I wanted to share, because maybe we forget, because we are struggling with all the difficulties, economical things, and we forget this. And it's so powerful for our mind and for our soul, the dance, that we cannot give up from this, and the world cannot give up from this. Then this is a side note or a side thing that for me,
in a lot of different ways.
So
I agree 100%, because I was facing many difficult situations in my life, but the dance is always constant, no matter what. Even if I had many breaks, 1 year, 2 years, I always come back. And
how much easier it was your integration in Portugal, as you found some places where to dance, and immediately I imagine that it was much easier for you to be integrated in a new city with a new language, but you had some kind of connection with a way of communication that was not completely new for you, that was dancing, although it was a different style. But imagine that you go to Évora and you don't have any place to dance. How much difficult would be your integration without the dancing?
Actually, I guess that it wouldn't be that difficult, because we had a strong Erasmus people group. And Erasmus Student Network, that they were helping to participate in everything. But I supposed to go for half a year. That luckily my university gave me the possibility, financial possibility, to stay half a year longer. And after first half a year, the people were gone, and the new group arrived. And I was on the first semester, I was with both local people, dancers, and Erasmus people. But on the second semester, I was only with Portuguese people and with the dance, the people that I already knew. So that was a way easier.
But
I could
my point here is that we, in a society, generally, still we don't give enough value to what dance makes in people's life, and there are different stages. But even for people that are in an Erasmus program, I think that in somehow it could be mandatory to have this kind of social experience of being part of a dance community, because usually dance communities are more open to newcomers, so would be an easier way of integration. For example, here in Porto, we have a partnership with the Erasmus Association that 6 months, after 6 months, it's the time of changing, we do a free workshop for all the Erasmus students that can attend. Usually we have in our school like 100 people.
We had,
yes, 100 people attending the workshop for free in order for them to see if they like or not, and if they like, after they can get in. And in our school in downtown, mainly, we have several Erasmus students that go in and out, and after, as we have Mushima and we have the other school, so this helps a lot the people to be integrated. So in somehow, if somebody is listening here to us, I don't know if it was with Madison that including I sent to her this kind of challenge, including to talk to you in Lisbon, to be able to support Erasmus people, to have this kind of welcoming, because in fact, dance, it's a way that help people to be integrated fast. And I was reading this kind of speech that you were saying and sharing in such a kind way your story that is beautiful, and talking about the effort that your father was doing to take you to the dance, waiting 1 hour for you. And it's so good when we can look back and we have this family kind of support. I'm lucky enough to be like this, because although my parents always had their work, they always arranged a time to be able to support our extracurricular activities. And because they knew since that time how important it is to our growing, to our education, to have this kind of activities, and they wanted to be part of that, and at least to check, to make sure that if they deliver us in the taking care of other people, they want to know if they can direct us in the best way. And once again, it's that little star that we usually say that we have, that enlight our way, and in somehow must being enlightened also by our family. And we, at least myself, I was very lucky to have this kind of support, and it's beautiful to see that you have that kind of support also, that even with the stops that you had time by time, you were able to return, like Paula was saying. And you touched there a point, you touched there a point that is very important, that was related to the first experience that you had with a person that for you was like, in somehow, you were a fan of him, that was Felician. And it's important that we, as we start getting more known in our community, even if it is international community or local community, we start getting some kind of exposure, and people, and we start being more in the spotlight. And as dance instructors, it happens a lot that to us. And sometimes with the years passing, we forget how we start, what were our fears, what were our afraids. And imagine that in somehow Felician didn't give you like this beautiful experience, and in somehow, because it could happen, he was already leaving the party, and in somehow he could tell you no. So how much your self-confidence would be damaged by that experience that you had at your beginning. One thing is that you are already on the scene for a long time, and you arrive somebody and you say, and he will say no because he's leaving, and you have strength enough to support that. But when we are in a beginner stage, this is very, very complicated. So this is also a call out to all our colleagues worldwide that can listen to this. Remember that the first experience of somebody can dictate the difference from the continuity or for the ending in this scene. So that's why we try to remember all our students, mainly the intermediate advanced. Don't forget to open the arms and to open the doors to the newcomers. Remember how difficult it was for you to start in a community, and for sure you had somebody that gave you that support at the beginning. So it's important to be reciprocal, to be to give also, not only to receive.
Yeah, to return, to give the return.
Exactly. So in the same way that somebody had that touch to us, it's important that we have also that conscience to the others. And as an instructor, as a teacher, as a shepherd of sheep, we need to take that in consideration. We cannot forget we have that responsibility. And even when we go to a party, although we want to have fun, we cannot forget that we are in our place of work. So it's sometimes it's unfair, but it makes part of our role. And it's one of the things, and we will talk a little bit about KTT, that we called attention to the attendees. And sometimes are things that are so simple and that supposedly everybody should know, but are the first things that we forget. So it's an interesting bridge here to do, because for sure, as you have that experience, you take care when somebody invites you to dance and you realize that he's a beginner, and you will remember what Felicia made to you as a welcoming. And for sure, you take that in consideration. And time by time, it's important for us to do like a flashback to remember how we felt. Even those that had the bad experience, how bad we felt in that situation. So we cannot allow that to happen to others. So it was quite interesting. Regarding, you already said that you met us for the first time because of Pavel and Agnieszka. I was watching the Hug Dance project. I was like doing some cleaning in my computer, and I find some videos from the Hug Dance project, beautiful moments that you also made part on that crazy stages full of people from different parts of the world. Damn,
Badosha crazy show.
Exactly, Badosha crazy show. With your Spanish crazy partner.
Yes, but actually we didn't know each other, like
Really?
entering the stage. We didn't know. I just my partner from Poland couldn't come, and Luis was like, "Okay, come on to the stage." And there was Paulo, I guess. Paulo Kruszko was saying, "Come on, come to the stage," and we're like dancing first time together. Totally crazy.
So good. So there is this moment that you start getting into more the Kizomba community, attending festivals, attending parties, and happened this opportunity of attending the KTT. You made it in Berlin, correct? Yes. With Luis. Do you remember why you decided to apply to the KTT?
So before, actually, I just would like to also mention that besides Kizomba, I was also dancing on other styles like bachata, salsa, zouk. I was trying everything, and I was doing like 3-4 hours per day, like crazy, all the time. But I felt really connected with Kizomba, and I got to the point that like festivals, workshops, and single classes, they stopped to be like enough for me. I wanted something more. So I don't remember if I already had the idea that, oh my, one day I would like to teach. But for sure, I wanted to have like stronger basis and like do something more. So that's why I decided to take part in your training.
But when you decided to do that investment, you were with the expectation of teaching one day, or just self-improvement?
At that time, at the self-improvement.
Okay.
Definitely.
So your input was for self-improvement.
And then just see what's gonna happen. But at that time, I just wanted to develop more.
I'm remembering now a curiosity that I had, because you but you had a long process of learning with Pavel and Agnieszka, and they trained with us. They made our teachers training. How was for you to find the way of learning as a student with somebody that trained with us in the KTT, and then entering the KTT and listening from the source the subjects that they were passing to you? Did you find like guidelines that made sense, or it was completely different from what you were learning as a student from Pavel and Agnieszka that attended the KTT, and for you now as a student of KTT listening from us? How was that feeling?
So Agnieszka was always focusing on your structure. So that was a little bit easier, but still I could get more information from you guys, because this is something that you created. and there are some informations that I could get just straight from you, because like there's a structure, and there's a part like of the steps of the music of sharing on each class. But even that I could take for myself a little bit more.
And what are the things that you most remember from that experience of the KTT?
Yeah, that was 3 years ago, so a little bit long time. I just remember the time that was like really like shaking, as we had to do a small choreo and to start teaching, and that was the worst moment. I was so stressed at that time, because I knew that I have to get more knowledge, and I have to practice more, and I admire you a lot, and just stand there, teach in front of you. That was really difficult, but amazing experience.
We truly believe that the position for us to improve is when we are out of our comfort zone. So that's why we place in the physical training of KTT, the one that we are presential, we ask everybody to teach a 5-minute lesson with guidelines that are very strict. And some of them are the first lesson of their live teaching are that 5 minutes, and it's in a very stressful situation. But even those that are really experienced teachers, they arrive there and they shake from all over the place. But precisely about that, what do you think that passing through that experience that is stressing, that is painful, that makes you shake, but do you think that in somehow prepare you to other situations that you will not stress so much because you already passed through that?
Difficult question, but actually, like the stress can be also a motivation, and yeah, there's so many situations that we are facing for that we cannot compare one to another one, but each time with more experience, I guess it's easier. It's easier.
After the training, do you feel that I know that there is something, and we hope that we can help you a little bit on that today, that it's about self-confidence. And it's so interesting because you are a beautiful woman, very beautiful woman.
You have here Chico V that is saying, top Dorota is so talented, very easy to dance with.
So that is the second part. So you are an amazing dancer, an amazing follower, very committed. You bring to yourself a lot of tools by investments that you do in your training, in your everything. So you do investments of time and money in your training. So you should be very confident. And in fact, you don't have the enough self-confidence to think that you might be ready to do whatever it takes regarding Kizomba teaching. So
that's true.
That's quite strange. It's good in one side that we keep that small drop of I can be better, but we also need to take action. Okay, so we need to have motion to be able to have action and to be able to have transformation, because in the moment that we stay behind the glass all the time just to learn, and we don't put it in practice, our evolution will not go in the exponential way that we can go. It's like taxes, you know, when you have juros, como é que se diz juros?
Taxes.
No, not okay. But when you do an investment in something, and if you like economicals and all that stuff, if you have this kind of profit that is composed, that means you invest 1,000 and you have a percentage of income that will give you 1,100, and then this same percentage will no longer be through 1,000 but 1,100. So the next time that you have more, it will be even more. There will be a moment that will no longer through 1,000 but will be through 10,000, and at this moment it will be the growing even more. So it's an exponential composed growing. So that's why we need to start applying in order that we understand things that only in theory we will not be able to do. And when we start understanding that, it's a magical thing that our perception open even more, and we'll get maturity, and we'll get the so-called experience that will allow us to have a faster growing. Nowadays, I always had some physical limitations, okay, regarding flexibility, blah, 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 that I can compensate them through the body knowledge that I have. Things that maybe 10 years ago, it would be easier for me to do in terms of physical condition. Nowadays, it's much easier for me to do with less physical conditions because I have more maturity of movement and knowledge of movement. And I take less time to do whatever it takes because I understand easily what are the mistakes, and I overpass stages to get the final result. And this is only possible because in somehow we need to be adventure. With conscience, we need to start. We need to do the first step, go to the second step, go to the third step, go to the fourth step. So every time we fall one step, we still have others down. Some people make the mistake that go from 0 immediately to the 10th step. What happened when they fall? It's a big fall. So if you go gradually and you are going through all the process, it's just a question of managing the things that you have control. And this is a mindset that makes a big difference. There are things that you cannot control. The weather, you cannot control. The COVID, you cannot control. The life reality of borning and getting that, you cannot control. But you can control a lot of things around you. The decisions that you can have from now, for example, you made the decision to enter live with us. And you had the option of doing no.
Almost forced.
It was imposed because I made the request. You send me a text explaining the reasons why you don't want to do. I accept that reasons. I give you strength, but immediately I send you the poster with the hour and the day asking, do you like it?
With
and
the
you say, okay, let's go. But even though you could take the decision of, no, I will not do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So this that you are doing here, it's another step that you went up. Okay.
You know,
so,
that's why I have it in here to remember. Okay, keep
What
going.
is
You're
that? I
stronger.
don't-
that? We cannot understand.
It's a Chinese sign meaning strong power. So in a way, if I will forget, look and remember.
And that is beautiful. So that there are moments in our life. This weekend we went to an event, an online event, an immersion event.
Completely immersion.
3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, around 10 hours each day. And the hashtag that they were using, you will understand, is chega de desculpas. Enough excuses. And there are times in our life that we need to have this enough moment. We are postponing a lot of things. We arrange a lot of argumentation. And usually the best argumentation are the most dangerous because are the ones that we believe. And when we believe on the excuses, they start becoming a reality. But there is one moment that you plant your feet on the floor, you place your hands on your waist, you open your chest, and you say, enough excuses. That's enough.
That's enough.
And you had some of that moments in your life, and you see how powerful you are and how powerful things you can do. You have a lot of talent for teaching. You can do that, girl.
This is friend of mine from Evora that we actually met during my Erasmus time.
You see?
Yes, media.
So beside your self-confidence, that is something that you have the control and you have the decision and you have the power to change in the day that you want. It just depends on you. When you finish the KTT with the product that you have, do you feel that you have something that you could apply immediately and you can start groups of students having everything you have, what you need to be able to answer to the needs of the students? What is your perspective about that?
Okay, so going back to the self-confidence, you're 100% right. I agree. So like I took too much time saying to myself, okay, you are not ready, you have to study more, you have to learn more. But I see that it took too much time and I have to start to do something. That's the time. Because we learn whole life, and I cannot keep saying, okay, I have to learn because I'm gonna lose the whole life on just learning. And about the
just a
KTT,
comma. And the
yeah,
biggest moments of learning, it's when you are teaching.
yeah,
This,
I agree.
this might
I
be a
agree.
contradiction, but when you start teaching, you will start finding where you have more difficulties. And this will allow you to improve your biggest difficulties. Because till the moment that you don't share with others your knowledge, you will never know what are the lacks of your knowledge. Close commas.
So coming back to KTT, I definitely felt like, okay, I have the structure, I know what to do, I understood more, so I was ready to teach, but the partner as always was missing. So after the marriage, after World Haggins project, after KTTP, I met so many amazing people, and one of them was Roy. That after KTT, he invited me to teach with him in Switzerland, and I was so shocked, but I was like, okay, let's go, let's do that. That was a couple of months after KTT. And I felt a little bit more powerful because I already had the knowledge from you. So I felt like, okay, I have something that I can share with people. And after that, also with Luis, he invited me to go to Valladolid for the festival that we were teaching last year. Like, he took me at the last moment. Dorotina, let's go, we teach. So we had like really couple of minutes just to prepare, but as we were both after the KTT, I wasn't stressed because I knew that we had like the introduction, kind of like one song for warm up. Then we have the steps like to show for the women and men, then to put all together. So as we were able to make a small choreo, I wasn't stressed because I knew how to divide everything. And that was a way easier. And then also when Thomas Keita invited me also, I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? This is not happening. I was like shaking, you know, like I don't know if anyone could see that, but that was that. But definitely. So that's why actually, Paula, I asked you on the other live about the structure for ladies, because my luck is that I always have a problem with finding partners. And like Rui is living in Porto. I had to come back from the reasons that you know. Luis is living in Spain. I started to train a little bit in Lisbon with Tabanca. That thanks to him, I entered to Escola Samami of Marta and Barbosa. Beijinhos, if you are here. And we started to teach online just because COVID started. We were preparing some like shows like that we wanted to do after the COVID, but like suddenly everything changed because of the COVID situation and because I had to come back. And thanks to them, actually, I continue with online classes right now. But there are the classes of Ginga just for ladies. And that's why I need a little bit, maybe, like, not knowledge because I have the knowledge, like a structure, how can I do it? Yes, because I have the ladies that already have basics, so I don't have to teach them from the beginning. I try to focus more on the strong.
Let me ask you something, because our KTT gives really a step-by-step. What to do lesson 1 in the beginning, in 10 minutes, in 15 minutes, in 20 minutes, till 1 hour of lesson. You have like a GPS that you just follow the GPS. And we also give you like options of different streets on the GPS, depending on what happened with your students. So it's really like everything here. But we know that there are other teachers trainings that they don't do that. They give guidelines, and after each instructor pick up that guidelines and they construct what they want in the way that they want. It's not the same way that we do. In the perspective of a student that wants to teach, and let's talk now about the lady styling, what do you think that would be better for you in terms of learning to be able to create your own style after. But is it better a system like KTT that give you a step-by-step to what to do in each moment, and you can start by that and after adapt to your needs? Or would it be better for you like different guidelines, like pieces of puzzle that after you can connect them in the way that you want?
Okay, it depends, because if I will have the students from the beginning, it will be easier to start with the structure. But if I have already the students that they know the basics, that we would like to focus more on the strong fundamentals, on the movement, on the styling, on the confidence, this is a little bit different. So maybe from that point, it will be good to have a little bit of different knowledge. But I guess that it could be easier, because for now I don't follow the structure, because I have the ladies that they have basics. So I'm preparing different classes, depends on the need. Or if they have any questions, we are doing the movements based on the questions that they have. Other time we do the choreographies that we continue for the 2 or 3 classes. Sometimes I focus just like on like connection with the floor, walking, base 2, base 3, adapting to the music. So I'm not following the structure. It's just my personal feeling that this is something that they need.
But that is a situation of students that already have experience. But in the perspective of starting creating a community, so imagine that you will open. Let's think about beginners, okay? Because this kind of knowledge you will get in workshops, in intensives, like trainings with Vanessa, that she give a lot of things, and you can pick up a lot of things, and after it's your own cocktail. But for example, in the KTT, we have a why for everything. Why in lesson number 1 we do this, and why in lesson 14 we do this, and what we made before will prepare what comes next. So even those that don't want to follow that exactly structure of combinations, we share why we made this puzzle like this, and we give the reasons how you can adapt to yourself, and if you want to go faster or if you want to go slower. And after, if you want to do a level 2 by your own, you have the structure defined, and you will just pick up the practical material to be able to move on. From what I'm feeling that you are saying, you are precisely missing that kind of system of structure. So what is more important to start first? How to prepare something that we will do after, in order that it will not get bored for the students, but in a way that they need to practice. There is not other way. Repetition. In dance, it's all about repetition. So it's about the instructors to think, how can I make my students repeat and repeat and repeat without becoming boring and without giving them this notion of working? Because most of the students for Kizomba, Salsa, Bachata, 80%, 90%, and if we talk about dance studios, 95%, they don't want to become dancers.
Professional dancers.
They want to learn how to dance. And the biggest percentage, they even don't go to social. It's like a weekly training for them. So we need to find here a balance between quality of teaching, quality of learning, of course, but in the same time, it's entertainment also. And we need to arrange ways of not just doing show-off moves, but giving them the opportunity of have different approaches of doing the same thing. That this is the major trick that we found in our methodology. A lot of different ways of doing the same thing in a way that the students think that they are doing different things, but in fact, they are doing the same in a different way. So this kind of mindset associated to the lady styling, it's something that the Paula do. And I think it's what's missing to you, because I'm in a point that, of course, I'm always trying to find what is the best for those that want to invest their time and money to take home. And I made already several placements, and I still believe that the way that we do it in our KTT level 1, of course, gives more tools for somebody to create their own way after. Because we give the option, use this 100%, but if you don't want to use this 100%, this was how we thought about it. So you can after change it. We have level 2 if you want the next 16. We have level 3 if you want the next 16. But if you don't want, you know already how we think. And you know already that this structure works. So after you can replicate with the combinations that you want, with the mindset associated to progression of teaching, not only fast food for eyes, that eye-catching movement that will not allow the students to have a continuation. So this was what I have still this doubt on my mind, that in the perspective of a future instructor or an instructor that want to find a structure, if the KTT system, have you made any kind of teachers training with other instructor?
No, just with you.
Okay, so you don't have a comparison.
Yes.
What would be your advice for somebody that might be undecided to do the investment on KTT?
As I was already like commenting before, for me, KTT, as I was mentioning before, I entered just because I wanted to improve myself. I didn't have this idea about teaching. So KTT is for both. If you want to get like strong fundamentals, go for it. If you are thinking about teaching, Ricardo and Paula, they will give you the structure. They will teach you about music. They will share the knowledge, the history, the market, like everything that they know to help you, like to succeed, I can say. And you will meet amazing people because I get so many connections, and with many of them I'm still in touch. So it's like opening the mind, opening the dance world, the dance family.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. What is your biggest dream? Do you have that defined?
Okay, and this is the question that I was like
trying to avoid.
Scared about. I knew that you were gonna ask about that. So basically, I'm still, because like Portugal is for me the second home, and I'm divided between two countries right now. So I don't really know if I would like to stay in Poland or if I would like to go back to Portugal. In Poland, it will be easier to do something more, just because I speak Polish with the bureaucracy is easier than in Portugal. But as a young child, I had an idea and a dream to run my own dance school. Right now, like the life is a little bit changing. I'm changing, I'm getting more experience, and I don't know where I would like to live. But for sure, I would like to continue dancing, and I would like to teach. I would like to keep sharing my passion, and maybe one day, that is like big dream. I was thinking about doing something more when it comes to the Dance Foundation, because dance is helping in any part of the life, in the most difficult, in the happiest moments. And for example, if that kind of foundation will exist, that could help sick people. That could also help people, like young, talented people that they don't have money to invest to grow up. So I don't know if I'm gonna do that, okay? Depends in which country I would live. In Poland, that could be possible. In Portugal, probably not really. But I would like the place like that to exist, to like share the dance and to give the possibility to people to.
So taking consideration what we always talk about, the ladder of dance, and the learning that I had with my father by the goals, and the goals will change till the moment that you arrive to them, or you have the stages of a ladder, and when you get the stage, you can still look up and go forward. So I think the best sentence for that is dream big, start small. So in order that you can go one step each time. And I have this question for you: why it need to be only Poland or only Portugal?
Because I don't know, because I feel really connected with Portugal. I feel like it's really my second home, because I was living there before as well during Erasmus last year. And this is a special country for me and also the people. So like I would like to go to another place and discover something new because like I said, I already found my
Now,
place.
what I'm telling is, why
Mhm.
just one of the countries? Why
Can
not
be both.
on both?
In both. Yes, maybe. If I will have enough fundament financial.
But that is the way. Okay, but
Mhm.
in order that you find the ways, you need to find the destination first, because without a destination, if you use a GPS, once again this analogy of a GPS, you need to place the final destination of the GPS. In the middle, you can have a road that is cutted, and the GPS will find another way to get there. Need to go around, can take more time, can be a little bit more expensive because now you need to go to a highway and you have toll charge. So but it will get you to the destination. And one of the things that I'm realizing, and these KTT talks show that
Mhm.
so much, is that most of the people don't have the destination defined.
It's
And
true.
that it's so complicated to get what you want because you don't have that defined. And sometimes we enter in this, sometimes no, most of the times we enter in this um, life mood of living the day, each day, and the weeks start passing, the months, the years, and when you look back, you say, damn, I made a lot of things, but in what direction was this the place that I wanted to get? And it's not, when you look back, you cannot do nothing than only being nostalgic, happy, proud, but these are feelings from the past. So we need to accept what it happened in the past, makes part of our journey, makes part of our path. But the present is the moment that we can take the decisions, when we can turn on the enough, excuse it,
True.
and go to the left or to the right. We are still in this moment. But in order to go to the left or to the right, we need to know where is the final destination. And there is nothing wrong that in the middle of the journey, you will change the final destination. It happened to us several times, including our vacation, as we travel a lot on plane. Our vacations are most of them here in Portugal. And we define, we're going to spend a week on Algarve. But we
Amazing.
go one day before, and we know that we will spend one night in one place, so we place
Mhm.
final destination Algarve, and in the way we go with attention to what is happening, and then we find another place. Okay, final destination today is here, and we go there, but then after passing 2 days, we're going to have Algarve as final destination. So there is nothing wrong of changing the final destination in the way. And don't have afraid of dreaming big. If you're, all of us, we have missions in our life, and happy of those that find that missions, because there are a lot of people that spend an entire life trying to find the missions and they don't know. And sometimes we just need to speculate. I think this is the one, and you go in that direction, and that way you place yourself in a journey, and you place yourself in front of situations that will allow you to open your mind to other things that you didn't know that might be your mission. So you talk here about helping kids with needs through the dance, being able to help people to be integrated, and you can create a program between Portugal and Poland, and you can have your headquarter in Poland, and you work there, and you can create partnerships with people here in Portugal that might have the same dream as yourself, and you don't need to stay the entire time in one place and another. You can be the one that create these kind of connections. You can try to research people that already do something in that way, and instead of being the creator of something new, you will be the unblocker of things that already exist, and then somehow you can become a partner of somebody, and in a project that might become yours also in the future. So there are different ways of getting there. We decided to create from scratch everything, because when we started, there was nothing like we were doing at that time. And we decided to be pioneers in that way, and to bring our sleeves up. And for us, really, that word, that sentence of motion is transformation, it was the fact, because we learn a lot of things by the mistakes that we made. and I don't regret. It made part of my life. Of course, if I would be able to get back, I would do some things in a different way in order that I could get faster with more knowledge to where we are nowadays. But I don't regret. It was a journey that we needed to have. So for you, I have this advice. So dream, but dream big, and write where you are dreaming in order that you can give shapes to what you want to achieve. And if it is something physical, no worries about that. If you want a building with something that will work about whatever in your city, and you can start through that, and then you can expand for all Poland, or you can start creating some kind of, it's a question, once again, money is the worst excuse to don't do something. It's the worst excuse to don't do something.
It's not only about the money, because in Poland, okay, it will be easy to take the credit to do something, but all the bureaucracy in Portugal, I don't know if I could handle. But I mean, I spent too much time.
But to do what? I will stop you. To do what? Do you know what you want to do? To know that the bureaucracy is very complicated? That is the thing, that we start placing a lot of barriers, obstacles, before we know in fact what we want to get. Sometimes we think that something will be very difficult till the moment that you start doing it, and in fact is not so difficult. So that's why it's important to define what you want to do in order that after, it's a question of placement of minds also, because when you start aligning your direction, you will start having people appear around you that will have the same frequency of thinking. That's why we have, our place, the Mais, our building, that is a dream for anybody that wants to work with dance. So it's a building with 3 floors, 1,000 square meters, 5 rooms, a club with a stage, with almost 1,000 students that we had before. So it's a dream. And this was our dream in 2005 when we started teaching in a rented studio in a gymnasium. We never thought that from 2005 till 2010 we will be able to do this. It was only 5 years. And money, believe me, that this shit is expensive like hell. And we didn't have the money to that. But the stars aligned, Jupiter with Saturn get together in a position that that our thought was in that direction. Appear a person in our life that was our business partner, João Paulo, that have knowledge regarding companies and business that we didn't have, that could make happen possible what we have nowadays. And we had all the other know-how that he didn't have, and our passion started becoming his passion, and started ourselves also to get interest to something that was more into his side. So we were attending a 30 hours event about digital marketing. So marketing was not something that we worked before. Sales was not something that we worked before. Human resources management was not something that we studied to do before. We made it in an intuitive way. And we start understanding what are the tools that we need to be able to develop to get the final position that we want. Because what we have here in the Mais was our dream in 2005, but stopped being our dream in 2010 when we reached it. Our dream now is different.
Because this is like the idea that I have to create one day. Yes, maybe, but I have to, like as I'm saying, many things is changing in my life, and I'm changing. My ideas are changing. So this is like a dream that I had like as a young child that maybe one day will arrive. But I lost too much time on looking for a partner, focusing, okay, I have to have a partner to teach, I have to have a partner to do something. And I just realized right now that no, like I would like to focus just on the ladies, to do something, to give the class, to give the workshop, and start with that, and with time to build something bigger.
And it doesn't need to be only related to dance. Use your learnings, use your skills to create something unique that is only yours. You have you have the marketing, that is some part that you like, as I understood. At least when you spoke about that, there was some kind of light that I can see that. Because a lot of people, when they talk about their day job, immediately it's like they get the different dark color. And when you talk about marketing, I see something light. I see something that you like. It's good.
Yes, I had that before working in a bank, so that's why I
Exactly.
run away.
So when you talk about bank, it was like you close yourself.
Yes.
You talk about
Yes.
marketing, it was almost like you are talking about dance. It's something that you like. So you need to find a way of combining this, because our skills that you have and trainings that you have that maybe your competitors will not have. And you can create something new by combining different stuff. I don't know what, of course, but it's maybe a possibility for you to start aligning your thinking in that direction. How can I combine the things that I know and the things that I like and the mission that I feel that I want to have? How can I combine this? And it's a question of just stop, think, and write and speculate. And as the time that you write, just after read, close your eyes, imagine yourself doing it, and allow your how do you call it, instinct to tell you if that is the direction or not. And you have a way to go. And once again, and maybe you will change the direction in the middle. And you are saying that you are in a period of your life that a lot of changes are happening. Good. Changes are good. If you don't have changes, okay, you didn't went to Évora, you didn't went to Lisbon, you didn't met Pavel and Agnieszka, you didn't went to ballroom. So the changes in your life show you that are positive things. And in the process, you had a lot of learnings. Don't think about obstacles as blocks, but think about the obstacles as the way to go. So a lot of these things might think like bullshit talking, like life coaching, too much, blah, blah, blah. But this is a fact. And most of the things you already know, but sometimes it's important that somebody tell you. And we are just here, the three talking. Nobody's listening.
Dorota, I will put here a book that I think you need to read it now.
Okay.
You know Anthony Robbins?
No, I don't. Not yet.
Then try Tony Robbins or Anthony Robbins. I'm reading that book, and all the things you were saying, and I was listening. If you read this book, it's big. It's a big book, but I think it will help you a lot. And don't forget, problems. When you have problems, it's part of the solution. It's when you start to try to find the solution. Then read that book. It will help you a lot.
It was a change in our mindset, because we in the moment, I think when you attend the KTT, we were sharing this way of thinking that we don't have problems in our life, we have challenges. And it's more or less related to this small change. So we need to find in the problems the solutions. And there is nothing wrong of having problems in our life, but we need to focus on the solutions, not on the things that we are not able to do. So you have here a lot of homework to do, my dear.
I knew it's going to be like that.
And use that time in your own profit. Try to find a way of combining your passions, marketing and dance. Try to find a way of connecting two countries that you connect a lot, Portugal and Poland. Try to find a way to when you start doing something that nobody else done before, it's difficult, but it's much more rewarding also. And it's a journey that you need to do it by yourself, by testing. Okay, nowadays, anybody that wants to start teaching Kizomba, it will be easier in one hand, but it will be more difficult in other hand, because they have already a lot of people in the market. When we started, it was much more difficult. There was no respect for this class in the social dance communities. Kizomba was not a dance to be taught in a school. Okay, this was the vision that people had when we started teaching Kizomba back to 2000, 2001. Okay, so it was a long journey. We needed to pay almost in order to have the opportunity to work. And now the things are different, and we feel proud of that process. We were not the only ones. It was the work of a lot of people, but we feel that we had a small stone, a big stone in that process, in that castle that is being constructed. For you, maybe, or maybe there is somebody that already started working on that. Do your research. Use your time, your free time, to research on that. Because, for example, for me, I love music and I need music to my work. So when I have free time, I like to research for music that I'm using my hobby, but at the same time, I'm working at the same time. That's why we are blessed to be able to work in the thing that we like. So when we have free time, we improve in the things that we are working because it's something that we like to do in our free time. Okay?
Yes.
So that's why we say that we don't work. It's because of that, because we are able to use our free time to direct in the things that we need to work. So, Dorotina, self-confidence.
Okay.
Self-confidence, that thing that you have in the arm, okay? Trust in yourself. Dream big, start small. Think writing, and start creating your path in the direction that you want to go. But define the destination of the GPS, okay?
Yes.
And read the book.
Read the book, yes.
I'm gonna read it. I've got plenty of time.
If you want to know a little bit more about Tony Robbins, if you have Netflix,
You have Netflix?
search for Tony Robbins Netflix movie. It was a life-changing moment for me when I saw that documentary.
Also for me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What's the name of the documentary?
Search for Anthony Robbins. It will be
It's
the only
only one.
documentary. I'm
Anthony Robbins.
I'm not your guru. I think it's something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, my
I'm gonna
dear.
watch it.
All the best. Lot of strength. Lots of light, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much. And do we have 1 second?
Yes, of course.
So I just would like to share like a quick message to everyone.
Of course.
Something I just want to say, keep fighting no matter what. Keep fighting for your dreams. And this is something that I hear always from my friends, like a support from my Polish friends, Portuguese friends. Even if I don't believe in myself, they always do, and they always tell me keep fighting. So this is the message for all. Keep fighting for your dreams always, no matter what, and follow your passion.
So beautiful.
Thank you very much, Dorota.
Beijinhos. Muito obrigada. Tchau, tchau.